What's the most hilariously unexpected plot twist you've encountered in real life?
I was in Japan and ran into a guy from Alaska. Told him I worked in Alaska years ago for a while. We became friends and I was showing him some of my Alaska pics and he got the weirdest look. I asked, "What?" He said, "That's me in the background of your picture." I took a random picture of a memorial. Well, he was walking in the background and we both discovered the fact while in Japan. Still makes me feel weird.
I was first on scene to a bad motorcycle accident. A car missed a stop sign and T-boned the motorcyclist. I stopped immediately, so did the car behind me, and a car in the opposite lane. This was a rural road in the middle of nowhere. The woman in the car behind me jumped down into the ditch with me and the victim, took off her headscarf, and tied a tourniquet on his nearly amputated leg. The other guy came over with a large medkit bag, and while he was putting on gloves, said to the woman, "Hey, I know you, don't I?" "Yep, we've met a couple times." The woman said to me, "I'm an off-duty officer." "He's EMS. What are the chances?" A country road, middle of nowhere, and police and EMS both on scene immediately. If it was a TV show, I wouldn't have believed it. Biker may not ride again, but he survived.
Was studying in my uni library one day minding my own business when the guy in the seat next to me popped his head round the partition and silently offered me Cheetos. I'd never met this person before in my life and wasn't a huge fan of Cheetos, so I politely turned him down. Fast forward several months, I'm on a bus coming back from a whole different state. The bus is relatively empty and there was no assigned seating. An hour in, the guy sitting in front of me gets onto his knees on the chair and turns around. It's the same dude from the library that one time. And what does he do? Stick his hand out and offer me Cheetos.
On a vacation several hundred miles from home, I'm wearing an athletic shirt with my unusual last name on it. The tourist behind me says, "Hello, do you happen to know XYZ, my last name?" I said yes, that's my uncle. Turns out he was the same age as my dad, grew up in my hometown and moved to my dad's hometown after college. He and my dad had a ton of overlapping friends, to the point where he had stayed overnight in my current room 20 years before during a sleepover.
20 years ago I was a regular on an online law forum. Admin was a lawyer from a town 500 kilometers away. He occasionally shared anecdotes about his goofy secretary. At the same time I met a woman I became close friends with. She told me anecdotes about her goofy best friend who was a secretary for a law firm. Turns out the goofy best friend and the goofy secretary are the same person. And it was interesting to hear the other side. Apparently the lawyer was an alcoholic.